Shanker, so first of all, just sort of explain to me about this whole thing, because this borrowing of money, this 65 billion, people are thinking, oh my God, what is the correlation between that and the pensions, and should we be worried in any way, shape or form?
Right. So what's been happening is that the bank has been, as you said, supporting the bond market, has been supporting, buying of these assets, and there are certain asset classes that have been problematic. Now, you have to understand the reason that we're in this situation. And you mentioned at the top of your piece the interest rates. We know that interest rates will have to rise in order to combat inflation. Now, what's been happening in the last 20 years really is we've had very, very low interest rates. And because we've had very low interest rates and money has been easy, a lot of actors in financial markets have been engaging in activities that they perhaps would not have engaged in if the borrowing cost had been higher than it currently, than it historically has been in the last 20 years. This has led to a lot of risk. There is a particular mortgage market, for example, a product in the mortgage market called LDIs that have gone from £40 billion 10 years ago to about £1.6 trillion. So you've got a lot of, whenever money is easy, you get a lot of what's called moral hazard. So you get a lot of activity that should not be taking place, but that is taking place. And this has caused significant problems in this market, which is why the Bank of England has intervened. But what the challenge for the bank and for the new chancellor and for everybody is, how do you stabilize this market, and how do you at the same time deal with the issue of inflation, which, regardless of what your pension is going to be, if inflation is rising, at a particularly high rate, it's going to lower the value of anything that you do have. So tackling inflation is a real priority, and that's why interest rates in the world, and the inflation is a global problem. It's going up everywhere, and it's going up everywhere as a result of things like the lockdown and shutting down the global economy and various other things. So in the US, the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates, and interest rates will be increasing in other places as well, in order to put downward pressure on inflation, so you can keep everybody's savings actually worth something.
Right, I see. So the 3 days, is that enough for pension funds to sort of balance their books then, because they're being given 3 days to sort that out?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is a lot of these issues are very closely interconnected. And so markets generally, the bond market is essentially an investment in government debt. It's an investment in investors essentially saying, look, we trust the ability of the UK government to make good on this debt. In other words, we're making a bet on essentially the quality of the UK economy and its governance structure and so on. So the problem with bailing out the pension firms for too long is that starts to negatively impact the market's view of the UK economy itself. And that won't help anybody. So they have to be limited in the time that they do this, but they have to, at the same time, you can't make policy, on the basis of minute-to-minute market reactions. You have to make policy on the basis of what is going to actually improve the UK economy
in the long run.
And the markets will react in the way that they react. The difficulty here is that we've got a lot of built up problems and built up distortions in the market as a result of extremely artificially low interest rates for a very long time.